Should Isaiah Mobley be getting more of a chance to play with the team this season?
I think at the beginning of the season, it made a lot of sense for Isaiah to take his time, for the team to take his time with him and see how he developed. But you and I were kind of texting about this, and he put up 30 points this past Friday and looked really solid for the Charge, and has looked solid for them since the G League season has started. So I think the team is gonna need to see what he could possibly contribute this season for the Cavs, because right now they're in a bit of a weird spot at the 4, and I think that Isaiah, if he keeps performing the way that he did in this Charge game this past Friday on the 13th, they have to do their due diligence and let him get that chance. And as you and I mentioned when he got drafted, he should already have really good chemistry with a player that they want to be their superstar in Evan. So yeah, I think they need to be looking at what he can contribute this season. You?
Yeah, you don't want to get overly excited about numbers in the G League. We've seen players go off there, and then they really can't do much when they step into the NBA or onto a professional team like the Cavs.
Yeah,
we know that Isaiah has talent, and we know that he has a history with his brother, and that they should be able to step in together, like you mentioned, and have a immediate kind of connection on the court. The Cavaliers are really struggling right now to find some answers. So with key injuries to people like Dean Wade, I think, and with the struggling that we're seeing from Kevin Love, they need to consider Isaiah to be brought up. And the fact that he's on a 2-way contract, I've been a little surprised that we haven't seen him this year, because I think they've had opportunities to bring him out there and just give him a try. I think especially now that they can't get that consistency at the 3 and 4, it seems like a good time to do it. And I'll mention, I like being the stats guy a lot of the time, but I'll mention that he's had 2 30-point double-doubles in 6 games for the Charge. He was 3 of 5 from 3-point range in this last game, which we're definitely looking for people that can knock that down. We were hoping for better production from his brother, Evan, this year, but so far he's still figuring that out. He's averaging 23.4 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 3.7 assists, plus 1.4 blocks in those 6 games. So he's showing that he's got the skills to at least bang it down there, and obviously we could use him right now. So it would be pretty cool to see him come up.
Yeah, I think the other thing I'll add is the team is in a weird spot because of the fact that, as you mentioned, Love is just not performing at his 6th man of the year level as he did compared to last year. And if he's not going to do that, if Love is not going to do that, he's more of a liability. He is a solid passer, Kevin Love is. He's even a fantastic passer at times. But because he's not hitting that outside shot, he's not getting the respect from other opponents on the floor. So he's not getting as much space as he needs to do everything that he can on the offensive side of the ball. And that's definitely contributing to some of his lackluster play. And also, he's in his mid-30s, so his physicality is not where it was. And Isaiah, we noted right away, he was a really solid passer coming into the league already. That was probably his most refined skill. The fact that he's making more three-pointers now at a still really good percentage, and he's probably maybe not as defensively sound as Kevin Love, but he's definitely physically just as competent as Kevin Love is right now on that end of the ball or that end of the floor. I think they really need to figure out how to navigate this.
Yeah, you're totally right. He's an absolute liability with a huge price tag, and we know that that's about to end, but you could put up with it when he was coming in and hitting big shots in key moments. And lately he's 0 for 4, 1 for 7. It's just not going to cut it. One thing I did read, and I'll end my thoughts on this, the organization says that they want Isaiah to get as many minutes as possible so that he can grow as a player with playing time and get a premium in Cleveland at some point down the road. So, maybe now's not the right time and they're holding that card for later. But the struggles that we've been kind of consistently dealing with for the last 3-4 weeks, it would just be nice to see him get in there and bang around with his brother for 15-20 minutes a game and see what they can get out of it. And then go back down and finish out the second half of your contract. And we'll see what we get out of you next year.
Thank you for listening to the Cavaliers Basketball Club podcast. Let's go Cavs!